1st of January 2020, I had released this video on top 5 New Year resolutions on our YouTube channel. I'm sure 100% of people who watched this video were definitely highly motivated to do something extra in 2020. Maybe 60% out of that might have implemented it, or maybe more than that, 80% of you might have implemented it. But question is, how many of you were able to maintain that till today? That is what the biggest question is. The biggest question is, why do we fail? We always get motivated to do something extra. And that's not like today. From every phase of life, our motivation level is different. A student is always highly motivated to score best in each and every semester. The day which he feels so, he will definitely study hard. But do you think he is able to continue with that? No. Every professional will feel that I'm going to earn more, I'm going to save more, I'm going to invest more. Do you think he really is able to do that continuously throughout the year? Every professional feels who is having his own business, or every businessman for that matter feels that I'm going to do more in the business, I'm going to strategize better, I'm going to set higher goals, and I'm going to earn more and more profitability, more and more of turnover. Do you think he does continue throughout the year? Every housewife feels that not the entire day, but at least 1 hour in the entire day, definitely I can spare for myself, for my personal development. She feels that she's going to do that. But do you really feel she does so? Again, the question is, why do we fail? Today in this video, we are going to talk about the reason as to why we fail and what could be the solution for that. So check out the full video. Hi guys, Rachana Ranade here, and I'm welcoming you all to a very new lecture wherein I'm going to talk about why we fail to succeed. The basic problem which I feel is that every person who does not achieve his goal, the main problem lies in discipline. I was reading some quotes while I was doing some research for this topic. I found out a very nice quote which said that pain is what you always have to face. Either it's a pain of discipline or a pain of regret. I feel the persons who choose for the pain of discipline are the ones who can succeed. But the problem is that how do I build a discipline in myself? For that, we must have to develop certain good habits. But the problem is that how do I build these habits? Everyone feels that I must have XYZ type of habits. When I tried to again research about that, I found out an amazing book by Mr. Charles Duhigg. I'm still reading that. I've not completed. A little bit is remaining. So I thought that I should give you a reference of which book I'm referring to while talking about in this video. So let's understand how habits are formed. Those who are from science background, in fact that's general knowledge, that whenever any experiment is to be made regarding humans, then generally the experiment is first done on mice. So an experiment was made in the United States of America whereby there was a tunnel sort of thing, and this tunnel was then divided into something like this, a T-shaped, you can visualize. Okay, my drawing is horrible. Okay, so this is a mouse. Okay, right. So there was a small obstacle which was kept here. Okay, and there was a click sound which was made. Okay, the moment a click sound was made, this obstacle was removed. Okay, and of course the mice was then allowed to go wherever he wanted to go. So anyways, he had only one direction to go. So he used to go here. Okay, now what they did was, one more thing is that they had added a chocolate here, piece of chocolate here. Okay, so when the mouse started his journey, he used to go till here. He used to first check here whether there is any outlet or not. Then he used to go here, go here, go here, go here, whatever. Then at this point, he used to get confused. Okay, so the mouse started to check in which direction should he go. But the moment he could smell something different, so he tried to go left, right, whatever, and then finally he comes here, finds a piece of chocolate and starts eating that up. Okay, now in this book they have shown that how much energy is consumed by the brain while taking this entire decisions. So you can imagine like this is the click stage where that click sound is heard and when the obstacle is opened. So here starts a very high level of brain processing. Okay, so instead of drawing such lines, I can say that, okay, the energy consumption, this is like the energy consumption of the brain, it's high. Okay, right here. Then the mouse is traveling in the tunnel, again the energy consumption is pretty high. Okay, Then he has to take a decision whether to turn left or whether to turn right. Again, the energy consumption is very high. And finally, he has to take the decision that if yes, there is a chocolate, that's like the reward that he's going to get for finding the right direction. So at the end, he has a chocolate, and again, traveling till the chocolate and eating that up. That's eating the eating process also consumes energy. Would this graph remain same throughout is the only question. Okay, throughout means what? Let's understand. This happens on day 1. Okay. Now let's imagine day 2. Same old story repeats. Mouse is kept here. There's an obstacle. There's a click sound. The mouse starts his journey. Comes here. Confused. Left, right, left, right. Then he smells the chocolate. Goes left. Eats it up. Again the energy is consumed here. Day 3. Click sound. Blah, 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 blah. Left, right. Eats the chocolate. Level of consumption of energy. Click, again high. Now he knows what is to be done, and while eating the chocolate, again energy is high. So you can imagine day 21. Okay, now what happens? See, the moment the click is heard, that's like a trigger point for the mouse. He has to understand, okay, I am hearing the click, now I have to move. So that thing is definitely what consumes energy. The moment the click is heard, same energy is consumed, but after he starts his journey, drop. Because now even the subconscious mind knows that yes, now what I have to do? Go straight, take a left, and then eat the chocolate. Okay, so the subconscious mind is working here. It's not the active mind. So the energy consumption for the mind is very less. So here there's a direct drop in the energy which is consumed by our brain. It will be low. And finally when he finds the chocolate, the eating process, now I have to eat, I have to chew and all that. So maybe here again it can go up. Okay. If this happens with a mouse, does this happen with a human also? You can imagine the same learning curve, the same energy consumption while you are learning to drive a car. First, you are required to go inside carefully, sit down carefully. Then you have to remember, I have to wear the seat belt. Then I have to find out for the ignition key and all that. Then be very careful, take reverse. Okay, that's where your energy consumption is very high. Okay, then you finally concentrate very hard, you take the reverse, and then you start your journey. Right? Day 2, it'll be a little bit easy, 1% easy. Day 3, day 4, go to directly day 21. Now, even if you are listening to a song, you are humming to the tune of the song, you easily go inside, you keen, you put in the ignition, you are very, very used to that, you just put up the reverse gear, okay, start accelerating in the reverse direction, easily take a reverse and you go ahead. Why? Now, in this process, your mind is habituated to take a reverse. So, in this case also, it's the subconscious mind which is actually taking you through the entire reverse process. Okay, this is known as the subconscious mind. Basically, it's like a golf ball shaped, which is in your brain, and that's called as the basal ganglia. I'm sorry if I've pronounced it a little bit wrongly, but that's how I understand basal ganglia. That is the part of the brain which is responsible for habits. Okay, it's said that it takes 21 days to build a habit, or some 50 or 60 days to make it as a lifestyle. So I feel this is the key thing. Doing a specific thing for 21 days non-stop, back to back. If you are able to do that, then on the 22nd day, without even taking a conscious effort to do that, you are automatically going to do that. Okay, but then how do I start that habit is a question, and how to develop habits in the most simplest way is going to be our next part of the video. So let's understand and try to break this habit formation in the most simplified format. Again, I'm referring to the same content of the book which I had referred to in the previous section of the video. It says that there are 3 components to build a habit. Number 1, there has to be a trigger. Number 2, the trigger is followed by a routine, and if the routine is followed, every person feels that he should be rewarded. That should be the last step of habit formation. So let's take this as a simple example. When we have to train our kids to develop good habits, like a very basic habit is brushing teeth. The moment I'm saying this, some might have understood that, oh my God, I forgot to brush my teeth today. I hope that's not the case. Okay. But what happens with small kids? For them, we tell them that whenever you get up, the first thing you have to do is brush your teeth. So what is the trigger? What is the start? The trigger is that get out of the bed and the first thing you do is brush your teeth. That's the trigger point. Okay. Once that trigger point is done, then automatically what happens is that you go to the basin, you take out the brush. Even if you are half asleep, you will pull out the paste, you will apply it on the brush and you will start brushing. Do you actively take efforts to tell you, does your brain have to actively tell you, now you have to take a paste, now you have to take a brush, then apply it? Are you taking that much effort? No, it's done effortlessly because of this basal ganglia. It is something a part of your routine. That's how a routine was set, because that's how your parents have trained you. They told you the moment you get up, the trigger is done. Now what is to be done? You have to follow a routine. Routine is go to the basin, take a toothbrush, toothpaste, start brushing your teeth. And what is the reward? When you tell your small children, what reward do you tell? You tell them, wow, so shining teeth you have, right? What is the reward? Reward is shining teeth. And like we always, if you have tried to do that, just rub your finger against your teeth, and the moment they are clean, you will get that beautiful sound, quick, quick, quick now sound, okay? That's your reward, right? That's how actually Pepsodent had used this same formula. There was an ad of Pepsodent. You can remember that also, that twinkling teeth. That's a reward, right? So that is how a habit is to be developed. There must be a trigger, there must be a routine, and there must be a reward attached to this. If you follow these three components very meticulously for 21 days, it's not difficult at all to build a habit. Then the question is, I have so many on my to-do list. Like, if I talk about myself, do you think I'm a perfect person? Answer is absolutely no. I'm just like one of you. Don't you think I love to get up late? Don't you think I love to skip exercise? Don't you think I love to eat out at McDonald's or Domino's Pizza? I do love that as well. I'm not at all fond of reading books other than stock markets and other than CA related things. So I've hardly read any fiction or murder mysteries and all that. I've never read that. I've never developed a habit for that. But then the question is that if there are so many to-do things on the card, how do I start? Again, the same thing is mentioned in the book. There is something known as a keystone habit. So try to find out that one thing that you want to do desperately. Okay, so I found out that I think reading is something for me that I should try to develop as a keystone habit. Finance is my core, that will be my core forever. But I think it's not only about finance. You have to think about well-being as well. If there is no well-being, there's no use of finance. You will earn, and there'll be no peace of mind. It's useless. So I thought that to achieve that well-being, I have to divert myself to something which will help me to attain that mental peace as well. And that's why I thought of developing a habit of reading. So then how to develop that next step? So for me, the keystone habit is, yes, I have to develop something for my reading. How did I go about that is what we are going to check into the next part of the video. So in the previous section, I talked about myself, taking keystone habit as reading books. I want to really develop that in me. Till date, I've read a lot of books about finance and stock market, but nothing as beyond that, like fiction or well-being and all that. I'm sure if my mom, dad, or my brother, sister, and of course my husband, if any one of them is watching this video, they're going to burst into laughter if they're going to compare this equation with Rachana and reading a book. That's like the most impossible thing that they feel is going to happen on earth. But then I have taken that as a very ambitious goal. I do a lot of YouTubing though, so I just try to YouTube that how to achieve the most ambitious goals, and I came across a fantastic TED talk on that. I've given the description I've given the link in the description. Check that out, of course, after you complete watching my video. Okay, so in that video he says that every task is an uphill task. Every task is a huge task. If you want to really achieve that task, the main crux is that you have to divide that tasks into smaller pieces. Okay. Try to divide it as small as possible. You should feel that that is a very achievable thing for me. So believe it or not, friends, when I started reading this book, my first basic goal was read one page every day. Okay. And maybe, when I started reading that book on the very first day, I didn't read one page, but I actually closed at 7 pages. You might feel that 7 pages, but like 7 pages is like huge for me, okay, because I have not even read one page till date. So reading 7 pages was a big one at that time. Two things worked here. I feel the author was superb, number one, did not allow me to stop. And number two, maybe I feel personally was the reverse psychology. Because I personally felt that one mind was trying to tell me only one page, nothing more than that. I said, I can read more than this. I took that as a challenge. And maybe I read more than that. After reading 7 pages, I was like, my God, this is a paap ho raha hai mujhse. This is a big sin. I should close it right away. Okay. So I just closed it. But believe it or not, I've been reading at least one day every day, and on an average I'm reading at least 3-4 pages a day. Then the question was, how did I do that? I just did nothing but try to find the same thing. Just try to follow the same thing. Number one, what was required was a trigger. Okay. If you just say, I'm going to read 1 page every day, that's never going to work out. You need a trigger. So what I did was, I kept this book just near my bedside. And then I told myself that the moment I go into my bed, the first thing I'm going to do is pick up the book from my bedside, read 1 page, keep it there, switch off the lamp. Right. So the trigger for me was reaching up to the bed. Second, I try to follow that as a routine. Okay, we have so many reminders that we can set. You can tell Alexa, you can tell anyone, just try to remind yourself first 2-3 days. Third or fourth day, believe it or not, the moment you go into the bed, the first thing I started doing was try to reach out for the book. Automatically that becomes a routine. And then I had told myself that if I am able to follow that routine, if I am able to do that without fail, even without skipping a single day, I'll definitely reward myself. And I have also defined a reward for myself on day 1 when I started reading the book. I have not yet completed the full book. Last few pages are remaining. But you know what reward I've kept for myself? I had bought AirPods. And what is the worst thing that happened with your Apple AirPods? Just one AirPod gets lost. That's the worst thing that can happen, okay? By the way, just a piece of tech information for you also, that I visited the Apple store and they told me that even one AirPod can be purchased, okay? One single piece can be purchased for only half of the price. So that's like $7,000 for a single piece of AirPod. But then I told myself that if I'm able to achieve this keystone habit, if I'm able to develop that in myself, I will definitely go and buy that AirPod single piece the day I finish this book. So that's how I've kept a simple and clearly measurable reward for myself. I hope I'm going to get that. And the moment I get that, I'm going to show both the pieces of AirPod on one of my YouTube videos also. Well, that was a full-blown discussion on how to build up positive habits. I hope you have enjoyed this video. This is first time I thought of coming out of my core, from the core hardcore stock market and finance concepts. But of course, I felt that this is also related to finance, by the way, just for your knowledge. There's a whole different stream in finance, which is titled as behavioral finance. How people spend is again a behavioral finance. How people fail to save, how people fail to invest is again a behavioral finance. So that's why I thought of making a separate video first on habits. And if you're liking this, then we can make more and more videos on how to develop financial habits, how to develop more on your investing front as well. So just let me know in the comment section whether you like this type of video or not. There are some people who really can't express their feeling in words. Guys, for you all, there is a like button as well. So if you are telling me that yes, you're liking such videos, I definitely plan to make more videos on this. And one more thing, I'm also trying to develop a reading habit for myself. That was my keystone habit that I identified. Let me know in the comment section what is your keystone habit that you are trying to identify, or what you have already identified. Make a promise to yourself, make a promise to me that you will definitely work on this habit. I will try to make one more video exactly after 1 month, and I will check in that video. I'll ask you to comment again to check whether you have done that habit you have developed that habit or not, whether you have tried to make a good effort towards building that habit or not. So try to be answerable to yourself and maybe to some extent me, okay, so that you develop that habit very nicely. I hope you have enjoyed this content again. That's it from my side for the day. Jai Hind. Bye-bye.